8 hours. All right, it say we live.
All right, yeah, I see it. It just changed. Hey.
Don't see the tweet. No idea where it went. Not an issue. I would tweet the bitch myself. They should have a share button right in here. That would have been.
Oh, no. It just tweeted.
Oh, it did? Oh.
Yeah, it's on my timeline. I'm about to
It tweeted under what? My name or?
Yeah, your name, not Ourcade.
Weird. Okay. Wonder how I knew to tweet under my name.
Yeah, under Jersbala.
Big brother shit.
Listen.
Oh, yeah, there it is right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's wild. I was about to. All right.
Yo, this sale is lit because they have the issues in order. It's not just like random issues that they're just giving you for 99 cents. I'm so happy right now. Because yeah, it's ergonomic. Yeah.
No, it's not even. Yeah, that's one of it. But the fact that you have your laptop this close and you're bending.
I know, babe. I know. I have to. Posture life is getting real bad, so that's why I'm at the desk. Yo, they have a good 30 issues of this Batman run that's 99 cents each, and I'm about to spend $30.
And 99-cent comics.
Hell yeah. With there's gonna be no opposition, no hesitation, no regret, no regrets, okay? Look at how beautiful these covers are, man. I need this whole thing in like print, but the way my bookshelves are breaking down, I can't be adding anything more to that shit.
She got me fucked up. I told her I was tired. She talking about you might have to start going to sleep before I get home. I was like, nah.
See, y'all be on this bullshit, but we're actually factually concerned with, y'all staying alive.
I understand. Like, I get that, but nah, I'm not with it. Like, no.
I'm looking over at my husband and he's shaking his head like, I can't stand both of y'all right now.
Cause he know what I'm going through. Like, you know what it is. I'm not, especially in my case, because I'm here by myself and I'm waiting for her to get here, and she got an hour drive after midnight.
Yeah,
like that worries me.
You're definitely not going to sleep.
Yeah, like I'm not going to sleep.
Like you might take a nap and get up before she starts driving, but nah.
See, that was something I thought I might do. Like maybe I'll just start taking like a midday nap and then just get up. And then that way, if I stay up with her when she get here, I'll still be okay in the morning. But my problem with that is I'm scared. I'm scared that I'm a sleep too long on a nap, and then I won't be able to go back to sleep later.
This is my struggle. This is why I can't nap. I would love to be able to, but I just can't. Because how many ever hours I sleep, I gotta like deduct it from my nighttime sleep.
Yeah, you take a 3-hour nap. Guess what? You just lost 3 hours of overnight sleep.
Exactly. Now I'm up at 4 a.m. like just praying to God.
Around.
Like, please. Like, I'll do whatever you say.
All right. So let's go ahead and start talking about shit.
All right.
So here's my wonky ass intro. But so this is gonna be episode 1 of what is tentatively tentatively, I hate that word, titled Cade Corner. I don't like that name really, but whatever, we'll change it. But so this first time out, I wanted to talk about Destiny. One, because I rarely get to talk about it because it's so divisive as a game. You know, you either really, really love it or really, really hate it. So like discussion about it is kind of hard to come by. So I wanted that to be my first topic. And I invited the young Glimmer Gawd, and she likes to be called AKA Miss Asia L, to discuss the game with me. And we just want to talk about year one, some what we like, what we didn't like, and you know, then we'll dive into what's going on in year two. So how are you doing today? First of all, like, let me not be rude.
I'm doing great today. Finished How to Get Away with Murder. Comixology is having a 99-cent Batman sale. Like, it's everything right now.
Man, you just out here winning. What you think of the season before we get into Destiny? Like how to get away with murder?
I really, really enjoyed it more than I thought I would, and I think it's because I stopped watching it with the timeline, and then I just like caught all the way up now, and I got to see the full story with all the crazy nuance and details. And Viola Davis did that. Like that is not television performance. Like that is mini series for an Oscar type shit.
Yeah, it is. She definitely raised the level of acting in that show, because I doubt you even get those performances from those other people if you don't have someone at her talent level in the middle, like holding it all together. Like you have to raise your game or you'll get left behind. But
absolutely. And you definitely saw the improvement in the acting.
Yeah, from the beginning to the end.
When the cohesion was there and the chemistry was there and they were playing off of each other. Perfect. That ending, one of the ending scenes that I loved was her on the stairs, like holding Wes, and they're both crying. Like it was just everything. I was like, you know what? Yes. I'm so ready for season 2. So ready.
Y'all gonna have to forgive me, but I'm fat and I'm about to eat a mini donut. Y'all can't do shit about it.
Every time I stream, I'm eating, and they make fun of me for it.
I should have had something to drink over here. I don't want to be rude and get up and walk away, so I'll just suffer.
I got my water and snacks close by. I don't play that.
That's how you know who do this and who don't.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm not getting up. Because as soon as we're done, going right into that Morabito live tweet, and then right on Destiny, and then that's gonna be my whole night.
Pretty much. All right, so let's not get too sidetracked. Let's get into it. So, you know, Destiny, from day one, it was going to be a game that it was pretty much going to draw a line between gamers. I mean, they were attempting to do something that's pretty much never been done before on a console. And I mean, maybe ever, as far as like trying to make a true shooter MMO hybrid, because make no mistake, that's what it is, whether Bungie wants to admit it or not. Like the jig is up.
Oh, so,
yeah. So you know, we always, like, people who were checking for the game or even remotely aware of it, they had to know that one way or another it was gonna invoke like passionate diatribes or whatever, no matter what side of the fence you were on. Like if you hated it, you were going to have to tell the world why you hated it, and if you liked it, you were going to have to explain why you liked it. But one thing nobody can deny is that, you know, love it or hate it, a year later it's still here,
and it's an even more phenomenal game now in year 2 than it was in year 1. I think it exceeded most expectations in terms of growth and development, especially over such a short period of time.
And that's the craziest part. I mean, there's been a lot of instances where developers will talk about letting their game grow and evolve over time, and, you know, like this kind of I don't want to say make it up as we go, but we'll adjust to what people like and don't like as we go. And I mean, that's an MMO staple. I don't play MMOs a lot, so I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. But from what I understand, you know, they're ever evolving experiences. And that's why people can play them for years and years and years, because it's not like they're playing the same game for all those years. The game changes so much that you don't even recognize it as compared to what you got when you first bought the game however many years ago.
Right.
And let's talk about year one first, because it was an interesting year for Destiny. I mean, no matter what you think of it. And I mean, even the most diehard fans of the game have to admit that there were just some design decisions that were just unforgivable.
Destiny was undeniably flawed in the beginning. I mean, and there still are some kinks that are being working out, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I think just because you like something, even when you love something, putting in hundreds of hours, like I have, like, you know, most people I know have, you have to be able to separate your like and your love of something from just logical deduction. I loved Destiny year one, but most of the DLC was trash, especially like the Dark Below. Like that whole thing.
Yeah, the Dark Below was, man, they really dropped the ball with the Dark Below.
The only
like
thing that they did really was Eris, and now seeing how central Eris is to the story, seeing how much development she's getting now and how involved she was, not just with the current part of the story, but what happened, the lore of the story. It just seems so ridiculous that they shafted that DLC.
Yeah, like it's a dead giveaway as to how much they dropped the ball, because she's the same character she was during the Dark Below, but all of a sudden she mattered. She's like the key to everything. But in the Dark Below, she was just basically a new narrator.
Yeah, they were treating her like the homeless lady that they were letting sleep in the
sleep in the tower, yeah.
Like,
and then you come to find out that like she knows, like there's no hope without Eris, really. It's crazy because she knows everything about the Hive, like everything.
Which is why I feel like her story is gonna develop really well, and it's gonna end up being some like fishy traitorous shit.
Yeah. Oh my God, we were talking about that, like me and my friends, and we were like, we just waiting for the hill turn. Like we're waiting. Like,
nah, dog. Her and the speaker are definitely up to something. Like,
yeah, I don't trust him either, or Zer. I don't trust nobody in Destiny, man, except Cade. Cade, the homie. I don't
trust Zer because Zer always come bring the exotic that to sell that I got that week. So definitely can't trust you. They're not even trying to hold you down, not at all. But I feel like the focus of Destiny year one was to set the foundation and to sort of train players in the mindset of the game, whereas Destiny year two is, okay, now that you've been playing the game and you have an idea of how these things work, now we're really going to show you why those fundamentals were important. And you rarely get that in games anymore because so many AAA titles are long legacy games where it's like the fourth or fifth game coming in. So you don't really get to really start with a new legacy game and build those fundamentals. I feel like they've done a phenomenal job with the PvE, with the storytelling. Year one for me, the storytelling was still great, even though I know a lot of people complain about the Grimoire cards. But if you played MMOs,
awesome, man.
You play MMOs, like, you know that you gotta go search for a key to find a scrap of paper that has a bit of lore on it. So I just feel
and you put it all together.
Exactly. I still appreciate the Grimoire card aspect of it because I feel like, you know, you can reference it at any time and you get, I love the Grimoire cards for like the guns, the gear, like that was the best to me.
The funny thing about those is I didn't really get into them until maybe after House of Wolves. And I don't know what, like, it was just one day I was like, I need this trophy for the getting 50 ghosts or whatever. So one night I stayed up till like 2 a.m. just getting all the ghosts. And then I got the last one and I'm like, cool. And I was about to go to bed and something was like, go look at the cards you got.
Yeah.
And I started reading them, and I think I stayed up like another 2 hours just reading Grimoire cards, and it was like some fascinating shit in there. And to see some of the stuff I read manifest in the Taken King, and I
Yeah.
actually know what they're talking about, is like the coolest thing ever. Like, okay, I know what they're referencing when they
Absolutely.
talk about these wars and these other people that haven't been in the game. And I'm like, I think that's a big part of why certain games become, I don't want to say classic, but like you think of a game like Halo or something of that sort, it's like there's so much lore around Halo. So like if you're not into it, you don't really get it. But like they got books and novels and movies. It's so much more than just a game. And
Yeah.
I think Destiny has done a good job so far of setting up itself to be that type of experience where there's this big universe you could get into and something in it is going to grab you. And I mean, I know people kind of complained that, well, most of the story was locked behind the cards and they didn't do a good job of putting enough in the game. Like, that's a very legit gripe. But at the same time, even though they've put a lot more narrative in the game, you're still going to have to explore outside the game to really get the most out of it.
Right. And that, I think that speaks to the different kinds of gamers. For me, I understood the gripe about like not having cutscenes and, sort of like the missing. There was just a little bit missing. There was just something a little bit off about the original story when you played through it. It was a great story. It was captivating, but there was something in the undertone that didn't seem as right as the Taken King feels. I feel like with House of Wolves, when House of Wolves came out, that's when I started to become more confident for Taken King. I was like, you know what? They're starting to pull it together. Like they're listening to the community, which Bungie is always great for. But they listened to the community. They gave us a great mix of the story. We still have our Grimoire cards for reference. We can still, go deeper into the lore, explore as much as we want. I feel like they did a good job with the story. Now, I mean, PvP aspects.
Well, I mean, let's talk about PvP. I mean, we've been talking about the story and all of that, but I mean, there's a whole nother side to the game when you talk about the Crucible or PvP. And right. I mean, I'm not a big PvP person. Like, if you know me, yeah, I'll play it because my friends are into it, but it's not really my thing. However, if I find that I can just play semi decent, usually I'll play it just because it's something I play with my friends. And like, I can definitely say as just a passive player that Bungie has definitely built this game around the PvE experience.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just wonder how you, being like more of a PvP player, like how that made you feel as far as year one goes. I'm sorry.
Well, year one, I was, I think, a lot more allowant of the idea that, they're building something and you can't have everything be perfect right out the jump. I think now that I've been releasing some of those expectations, it doesn't bother me as much because it's okay if Bungie decides or has decided that the PvP aspects of this game are not as important as the PvE aspects, because the PvE portions of the game on its own is amazing enough to be a legendary game forever. But because Bungie did, slip in there while they were creating the game, that this was going to be something that Halo players, Call of Duty players, people who are coming from a more competitive FPS player background would be able to enjoy in that way, it kind of feels like we got shafted. And looking back at it, it could have just been a lot better with very, very, very minor differences. And I was ranting about this on the timeline for like weeks at a time. I feel like now with the new maps, and the new subclasses, the gameplay has definitely changed enough for right now so that competitive PvP, it's okay with it not being a central issue. But I feel like for the longevity of the game, in 3 to 4 months, what's going to happen? when people have gotten through the content and they're now ready to, you know, play, actually put in that time, how is it going to go after that? Because right now it's great because everything's still kind of new. It's still kind of fun. There's a lot of new maps. There's lots of new guns. The interaction in the game itself has changed, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm really expecting it to be a competitive FPS anymore. Wait, what happened? I'm by myself? Please tell me I didn't say all of that to myself.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it says left the chat.
Oh,
he left the chat. No!
He's going to put everything together. Well, that was so great, honey. I'm about to actually be here part of it.
What movie?
Wormwood or Windward or
oh, Wormwood.
Yeah.
That show. Did I wonder what happened? It still showed that he was on air, so it was a little bit weird. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? I can see in your eyes. I hope that's not live.
Yeah.
I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile.
Touchpads are really made for convenience. They're not really made.
My internet sucks. Give me 1 second. Let me get her back and we'll get back to it. Whew. This is why you test stuff out before you start doing it. So things like this don't happen. But you know, I'll work it out. Also, for anybody watching this, I want you to know I gave up my gaming time to do this. So I hope you appreciate it.
You have it now.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know what's been up with my internet lately. Like for the past 3 or 4 days, it'll just randomly drop, and then I'll reset the router, and then it'll work for like 5 more hours. It's stupid.
Let me ask you a question. You got Windows 10?
Nah.
Is it trying to get you to upgrade to Windows 10?
Yeah, it asks me sometimes.
All right, so let me tell you my side. I hate Windows 10 story real quick. Before Windows 10, when it started prompting me to get the free upgrade, all of a sudden I started having like internet connection drop issues. So I figured like, okay, so once I upgrade, this is going to take care of the issue. It's probably like a new driver or some random internet shit that I don't understand. And I upgraded, and it still happened, and I had to downgrade.
Wow.
And it sometimes happens randomly. I get kicked offline.
So you think it's the fact that the computer wants Windows 10?
I think that they're trying to let us not be great.
I can believe it. Fuck Microsoft, man.
Word, they on that bullshit.
I don't even remember. Oh, we were talking about PvP.
Yes.
All right.
I was like, man, how much of that rant did I get out before you? I was like,
I know, right? You was just getting heated up. And then your mic started doing like some Tron shit. And I'm like, yo, something up with your mic, but it really was my internet. I'm like, damn, what's wrong with her mic? Nothing, nigga.
Like, you offline. That's what's off with you.
Yeah, right? Nigga, your router. That's what's wrong with my mic. Fuck you mean?
But yeah, what I was pretty much saying is that I've released the expectations of there being competitive elements of this game that I'll be able to invest in long term. Mm-hmm. I just worry that because I don't see them adding smaller things that would really, really help the community out. I feel like because they're not doing that, once Halo comes out, if Halo works, that's the first thing. Because, 343 be on that shit.
Man.
If Halo 5 works, and we're talking about the multiplayer, then there's going to be some serious conflicts with the competitive community who've been kind of like railing against Bungie. Because, hey, I don't feel like the needs of the competitive community are too much. Like the day that we were talking about Deej, who is one of the community managers for Destiny, we're talking about that and just talking about how PvE gets so much attention and it's great, and we don't want to ever take away from the awesomeness that's PvE at all. Like, please continue to do that because that is amazing. But if you're going to market this as something that's going to fill the void for your leftover Halo players and COD and Gears of War players who are accustomed to more competitive settings, like just being able to, hey, get 6 people in the party at one time and select the team that you're going to be on to start the playlist so that everybody can be in the party playing skirmish. I can play against your team. Little things like that would.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't let you do that.
It's ridiculous. So in some aspects, the game is conflicting because in PvE, it places this heavy importance on having a fire team, having people to play with, being able to go through these things with people that you can invite. But once you get over to the PvP aspects of it,
you can't do it.
You can't do that.
Not to the same extent anyway.
Absolutely not. I mean, now I think the most people you can have in a party when you go into FFA Rumble is 3 people.
Yeah, they'll let you take 3.
Yeah, they'll let you take 3 people. And I understand that you're trying to curtail a certain amount of ganking the system.
Yeah, but you gotta look at it like, yeah, in these games that allow that, I mean, generally people tend to play them more. I mean, it sucks that you have to allow a little bit of like unsportsmanlike shit into your game, but I mean, if that's what people want, if they saying, well, we don't care about people boosting, it's cool, then why should you care? Like,
right.
And I mean, I don't think nothing that you you stated that day in that conversation was unreasonable. Like wanting private lobbies, I even want private lobbies, and I'm not even a PvP guy, but I would love to. I would play a lot more if I could just go in there with my friends and just bullshit around, and we could laugh because we shooting each other in the face, or even like a one-on-one duel mode or something. Like I don't know. There's a lot they could do, but it's hard to judge how serious they are about really making the PvP just as expansive and loved as the PvE. And I mean, the PvE is probably the bread and butter of the game in their eyes, and I understand that, but there's a sizable enough contingent out there that plays PvP that you should seriously thinking about, catering to them too. Like it's not a bad decision to make, and it shouldn't take away from the PvE at all. That's the part I don't get.
This is the issue that a lot of people have. I think if this was any other gaming development company, we would have been like, you know what? You're a piece of shit. Just give us the damn story and get the hell on. But it's Bungie. Bungie created Halo. But without Bungie, there would be no competitive gaming scene. Without Halo, there would be no MLG. There would be no international gaming championships. All of this shit, it would not be there. And the reality is, without the long-standing PvP that's interesting, competitive, the longevity of your game is trash. Like, what's going to happen when people have played the content over and over? In 5 months, when everybody's done the raid umpteenth times, where everyone's maxed everything, have everything that they want, we're going to get into the space that we did right before the Dark Below came out, where people left.
Yeah, and that's the cycle they're doing to like compete.
But PvP keeps the game alive. The people that are logging thousands of hours in Destiny are not playing the raid over and over again. They're not doing year one story missions over and over again. They're playing PvP. That time is spent in the Crucible, and they have the numbers. They've released the numbers. These are not things that can even be debatable. So now in year 2, the fact that nothing's really been done to throw us a bone, it's just time to make peace with the idea that it may never happen, and that's entirely okay. I would still be happy with, just the option to play PvP because I'm a PvP player. Mm-hmm. The PvE aspect of the Taken King so far has wowed me and really endeared me to the story. So I'm going to continue to be a fan of it. But as a PvP player who's here for that competitiveness, I'm on the look. Like, I have to look for something else because it's just not going to satisfy that aspect of my gaming life.
Part of me feels like maybe they think in their mind that they can't overtake the juggernauts in PvP space, and maybe they just decided not to try. I think that's a mistake.
Really? Bungie thinks that?
No, well, I mean, only because I feel like, not because they don't think they're capable. I mean, of course they're capable. I mean, you just ran down the resume. But what I mean is, I feel like when they put the game out, yeah, definitely a large contingent of the people who bought it went straight to PvP and did all that. But I think because they feel, I don't know if the numbers bear it out, but I think there's far more hours put into PvE in the community, and I think they just feel like this game will never be seen as a serious competitive game, like, for whatever reason. And I don't know if it's because there's such a heavy focus on PvE. Like, if you think about Halo, it had a story, and by all accounts, I mean, I haven't really played it much, but like, people love the story. But we all know why people buy Halo. Like, the focus is PvP.
Right.
And PvE is there for people who don't like PvP, or it's like a warm up to get used to whatever they changed from the last iteration or whatever. It's like a good way to get acclimated, learn the new guns, have some fun with your friends, and then it's like, all right, now we're going to shoot shit up. Whereas Destiny's almost bearing out as the opposite, and I don't know if that was by design or if that was just the way people played it early on, and then Bungie just didn't think maybe they could reverse that, so they just ran with it. Like, well, if everything's skewing this way, maybe that's where our focus should be. And I mean, I don't think that's I'm not saying they should have did that. I'm just saying maybe that's just what they decided. I mean, I think it sucks. I would love for the Crucible to, you know, keep expanding at the same rate that PvE does, because I like playing the Crucible, even though I don't play it all the time. I do have fun in there. And the more they give me to try, the more I would try. Like, I think the new modes are great. Like,
Yeah,
Rift is awesome.
Rift is awesome, and I think what makes it awesome is the very, very intense focus on the objective, because previous objective games in Destiny, still you could still win it.
You could win without doing it. Man, I've seen people winning control holding one spot the entire match.
We've won control not holding any spots.
Yeah, like, because you can still
viciously outslaying them.
Yeah, and that's why they were talking about making the new mode where you don't get points from kills, only from, you know, spot control, because they saw people were like, man, fuck them spots, man. These dudes can't kill us. We just gonna keep killing them.
Yeah, and I think that's been great, and I think elements like that are definitely what's going to keep some competitive elements to it, because now you go into Rift, you try to play Rift by yourself.
Nah,
it's a joke if you encounter a team of people who actually know what's going on, because most people are just running around the map looking at the trees right now. Like, it's just really, really crazy. But in that too, like, if matchmaking was better, if there was, you know, a ranking system or something like that, then that would greatly help, you know, even out the experience. So if people who really didn't know what was going on are playing with people who really didn't know what was going on, then that would be hella fun.
Yeah, and I don't know why they don't have, you know, a ranking, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know why I'm trying to think of reasoning for Bungie. Like, they don't need me to speak for them, but
no, but because you're, you know, like everyone else, you're trying to like figure it out.
Yeah, it's just because that would help me a lot, because we have these times where, like, we'll go in a match and we'll win by, I don't know, 9,000, and it's like, damn. And then we'll go in the next match and they'll double up on us, 20,000 and 10,000. It's like, God damn, like these, it's like these big ass wild swings. Cause like, we're pretty good as a team, but like, you know, we're a team of people who, we have like some people who barely play PvP, some people who excel at it. If we could just find teams like us who have like a few weak links and some really good players, and we could just match up with them, then I think it would be way more enjoyable for everybody. And I don't know why they would just leave it to chance. Like, I mean, the one thing I did see they did in Taken King is they, like, if you get beat real bad, they won't let that team stay in the lobby. They'll kick them and match you up with somebody else. But that's just like a band-aid. You know, like, it's not really a fix. It's just, all right, we don't want you to keep getting whooped by them. So
yeah, pretty much, because it can get disheartening, and I completely understand that. Like, I've been on that end of things, like playing Halo, where you get into matches and you just want to cry because you're trying to figure out what you did to deserve this whooping. Like, what did I do? Like, I just wanted to play and have fun with my friends. Like,
but at the same time, you know, that doesn't really do anything, because you could get, like, that team could get kicked out, and then you could get matched with another team that whoops you just as bad.
Pretty much.
Because there's no matchmaking. So,
and then also it doesn't allow you to really, you know, stay and analyze, maybe if you are the kind of player who is interested in being a better PvP player, it doesn't allow you to go through it. And to be a better PvP player, you have to play through.
Gotta get your ass whooped.
You have to play through those games. You have to see how people play. You have to learn how to counteract, because it's strategy. So I feel like on one hand, I understand why the Mercy rule was a big introduction. I'm happy that they're going to keep it out of Iron Banner. They're keeping it out of Elimination, and I think
don't Mercy rule me in Iron Banner. Nah, hell no.
Like, Mercy rule me in Iron Banner, like Bungie can catch these hands.
Yeah, like, I'm not with it. Like, I'll take that L in Iron Banner. Like, I have no problems with that. I mean, I still benefited from it anyway. I get my little medallion. It's not a total loss, whatever. But I take Iron Banner way more serious than the I never played a regular Crucible. I do now because there's bounties and stuff. I mean, quests. But before the quest system, like, I never played regular Crucible ever. But every time Iron Banner comes around, I'm in there. And I don't know what it is about the Iron Banner that's so much more appealing to me. And also, I play better in the Iron Banner
because the
than the
pressure
regular
is
Crucible.
serious. It would be the equivalent of you playing big team battle in Halo and then, you know, going into a team hardcore game. Like, there is a difference because you know that there's going to be a certain level of player. You know that your levels matter, your gun matters, and you're just not going to be able to enjoy the map and have a good time unless you won. And to be able to do that, you're going to have to outthink, outplay.
You gotta take it a lot more serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that's it. Because in the regular Crucible, it's like you just playing it to play it. Like, it's not really at that point, you know, late year one. What could you be really getting out the Crucible that you didn't have or you actually needed?
Exactly.
So it was like you were just doing it because that's what you like to do, but you were like sleepwalking through it at that point, especially if you were good. It's like, I can kill these people in my sleep.
Competition, like there was really no competition unless it was Iron Banner, and then with the rise of Trials, even though I appreciated what they did with Trials, I feel like it's really annoying for it to only be on one map. I feel like just make it a ranked playlist, stick it on the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't let you have rotating, because it's like people feast on the fact that most people do the same thing. So it's like after you've played the map, let's say all day Friday, you know exactly where people are going to be, what they're going to do. So it gets to a point where if you haven't been playing all day, you're almost destined to lose because you're always going to be in the wrong spot, or whatever you do, they know it's coming. Like, I watched a stream last week, or no, 2 weeks ago. I watched these guys. They were helping my friend get to the lighthouse, and I just watched how they play, and I'm just like, they know exactly what everybody they play is going to do.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, on the one hand, that's impressive, but on the other hand, it's like I see why I can't win when I play Trials.
Right.
Because they know what I'm going to do before I do it.
And if we had customs and you can walk around maps
and figure that shit out.
Well, I think for me, the main issue with Trials is because a lot of year one and pretty much most of the year one maps, I feel like were very, very unbalanced, and there was definitely a good side spawn and a bad side spawn.
Yeah.
And whoever got that good spawn, man, like,
yeah, there's definitely maps where, like, if you start on a certain side, you like Burning Shrine is one that comes to mind. Like, if you start on the A side, you almost have the win already, because A is like 8 steps from B, and C is all the way on the other side of the map.
Exactly. And I think those are the things that make it weird from a competitive standpoint, because the spawn points are, I mean, we know what the spawn points are, but the spawn points are trash for the mechanics of the game. You can very easily spawn camp. You get 2, you hold 2 down, and then you have your team push them into their spawn.
Just push them back into their spawn. And that's why, not to like get off topic, but like, I don't know if you probably never played Killzone before.
No.
But Killzone 2, well, in every Killzone after, I believe, I love the fact that they had a class that could drop spawn points. And I don't know why no other shooter has stolen that yet, because it was brilliant. Like, there was no way to spawn camp, because I think it was the snipers in part 2. One of their perks was they can just drop a beacon and people can just spawn on that beacon for like 5 minutes, but you could drop another one well before the 5 minutes is up. So you can essentially drop one wherever you want on a map, and that way you'll never just get trapped in your spawn. And also, they had 2 turrets inside your spawn, so if people got too close trying to like trap you, the turrets would like help you fight back. But yeah, it's so easy to spawn camp.
There was a similar thing for Recon in Battlefield 3, where, you know, it worked the same way. Like, you would be able to put down a spawn beacon, and, you know, after you died, of course, it would go away, but then you could put it right the fuck back up.
Yeah, see, in Killzone, it didn't even go away when you died.
See, that's lit.
Yeah, because I'd spawn back on my own beacon all the time. And you actually got points for people spawning on you.
Yeah, absolutely. That was part of your role.
Exactly. It was part of you're helping. You're doing what you're supposed to do for the team by providing them somewhere else to be other than where the other team wants you to be.
Well, I feel like with this though, they're definitely making steps, like you mentioned the quest earlier and playing PvP more now. Like I definitely feel like they're making some attempts to bridge the gap between PvP and PvE players. But you know, as I was talking about this with my husband the other night actually, and I was like, all they're really doing by leaving out the competitive aspects of PvP play is that you're going to start making PvE competitive. And the people who thought they were good and loved PvE are going to start to hate it because all of the PvP dudes actually have the time and the desire to get some shit that you can't get. And they're going to stay there and they're going to grind until they get it. And then they're going to flex because that's all we can do right now. All we can do is flex.
Yeah, I never understood that aspect of gaming. Like, well, I get it. I don't want to say I don't understand it, but like, y'all go so hard. I'm just like, it's almost annoying to me. Like, yo, go away. I don't care, man. Like, I lost my competitive spirit. I just did.
Casual. Talking that casual talk.
I mean, I might be. I'm not even going to lie. I wouldn't call myself a casual gamer. I play way too much for that. And I do care about getting everything and being good, but it's just at what cost is the question I ask myself. I never used to ask myself that question. It was just whatever you got to do to be better than everybody, just do it. Don't even worry about it.
You're an adult now and you have a life. And you know,
now I'm just like, like for instance, you heard about the 3 of coins glitch?
Oh yeah.
All right, so when my boy had told us about it when we were playing on Friday, he's like, yeah, people are doing this thing and you kill the boss and kill yourself and the thing drops and whatever. He like spells it out. And they all getting excited. Oh, I'm about to go do that right now. And like, me and my boy were just like, yo, y'all fucking lame. And they're like, what you mean? And I'm like, that shit trash, man. Ain't nobody doing that shit. He was like, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Lying. Why you always lying? Oh my God. You know you're going to want that exotic sword though.
I mean, I'm going to get it though. That's my thing. Like, that's what I told them when they were like, well, you're going to be mad when I got A, B, C, and D. I said, I'll put any amount of money up. I have every exotic in the game before you. And I'm not going to do that shit. Like if that's what I want, I'm going to do it. I told myself year one, like I'll say sometime after House of Wolves came out, I was running out of stuff to do. I knew we had, you know, however many months left until Taken King. I'm like, man, I'm either about to put this shit down or I'm about to give myself something to do. So I said, I want everything from year one that is like significant or that's tied to a certain mode. So I was like, I want all the exotics, all the raid armor and guns, all the trial shit, all the PoE shit, all the banner shit. That was my goal.
Yeah.
There's a site that actually tracks that shit.
Yeah.
And I think before year 2, I got to like 74%. I didn't get most of the trial shit. I got all the banner shit, all the PoE shit, all the exotics except the 4th Horseman. And I'm missing 1 raid gun, which is Praetorian Foil.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, but now I'm starting year 2 fresh, already having that same mindset. So like, I'm going to do it this time because I got the whole year instead of 3 months or whatever. And they were like, damn, you getting everything. I was like, I told y'all this is what I wanted to do.
Well, I mean, I think everybody approaches the game differently. Some people want to be the first. Some people want the bragging rights. For me, the main reason why I play video games is to be able to say I'm better than you.
Yeah, see, that used to be me. Like, that used to be me. I'm still that way, but only with certain games. I never was good enough at shooters to say I'm better than you. So that's why I don't try to be. But like when I used to play fighting games when I was younger, like I was definitely the I'm better than you dude. Like you can't fuck with me. And like to an extent,
I'm gonna lock myself in the room until I get better, and then we're gonna do this again. Like
And I'm still that way with fighting games. I just they've gotten so popular, like they've become like next to shooters, the game you got to be good at if you want to be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, in sports games, so like they're rising in popularity because all these big money tournaments and these fighting game people are like becoming rock stars and shit. So I don't have the time to keep up. Like I still have the natural talent. Like I'll hop on Street Fighter and go 12-0 and then hop off. But like I know if I like really went to tournaments and stuff, like I'd get waxed because I'm not playing that shit 2-3 hours a day when I got all these other games I want to play. Like I refuse. But that's what you got to do.
Right. And then but now you have to choose what's really going to give you the reward that makes sense for your time, since you don't have time. For me right now, I have more time, so I can be like, hey, I'm going to spend all day farming today. Like I can do that. But for people who don't have that luxury, yeah, that's a little bit ridiculous, and I understand that. But I'm like, there's other games for you, boo. Like there's other games for you.
And I mean, that's why I had to set the goal early.
I have to say.
Because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to play like 9-10 hours a day. Well, that might be a little bit of a lie. But however many hours I can play now is less than I could play a little while ago.
Right.
So I have to adjust accordingly. But I still know I can accomplish what I want to accomplish. It's just going to take longer than it would somebody else. And that's fine. Right. I know I'll get there. But, if you're one of those people, I got to do it first. I got to do it the best. I got to do it the fanciest. Then, I definitely understand the appeal of competitive gaming because it feeds that hunger you have to like be one up on somebody. And there's nothing wrong with that. Gaming was built on that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's surviving on it. That's the only reason why it survived. I mean, even if we go all the way back to like Mario days where it's like, yeah, man, like, did you know it was an invisible box here? Like,
yeah, right. Fuck you find that.
Exactly.
Or even just the fact that they would have the damn high score at the top of the screen the whole time you play. It's just letting you know this is greatness right here. Like you can't do that. You're not better than me.
Exactly. Try it if you want.
You see my initials. Stop fucking with me. All right. Well, let's get out of here because you got other obligations. You're popular.
Yeah, I'm about to live tweet Morbido. It should be fun.
Now, what is that before you go? Because you told me that earlier, and I had no idea what you were talking about.
Oh, it's Morbido, Guardian of the Spirit. It's an anime. It's on Netflix. If you're bored, you're not doing anything, join me.
Wait, how you? Well, all right, yeah, I watched the stream because I haven't watched no anime in like forever. There was one I wanted to watch with my girl, but I don't think she was into it.
Which one?
It was called Excel World. I don't know if it's new or old. But my cousin had me watch it like last year. He was like heavy into it. I think it only had one season though, and then they made a spinoff called like it was like Excel World something. It had like a subtitle. But I thought it was like pretty interesting, but I never finished it, and I wanted to start it over with her, but I don't think she was really digging it. So I haven't been watching no anime since we finished like the whole Dragon Ball saga.
Oh boy. I gave up on Dragon Ball a long time ago.
Man, we watched it. We watched from Dragon Ball all the way through the end of Z, like me and her.
That's a commitment.
And we watched the Japanese ones with the subtitles.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's no anime that isn't.
Well, yeah.
I don't recognize dubbed.
Yeah, yeah. The funny thing is, I only used to watch dub when I was like an uncultured savage and didn't know no better.
I understand.
But once I was introduced to the finer things and like,
I know
it's like that fucking. It's like that shit when people talk about people only eat well done steak because they don't know no better. I used to always think that was like ignorant until I actually ate another kind of steak, and I was like, damn, I've been living wrong
the whole time.
Like they were right as fuck. But yeah, we'll definitely do this again. I mean, it's a whole bunch of games coming out. Maybe next time around I'll try to get some other people to join in with us.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like a round table thing or whatever. I'm still trying to work out a schedule for this, but I'd like to do it at least once a week. I just got to pick a day I know I'll be available.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But,
and I'm here. You know I'm always here.
Yes, ma'am. So, for anybody who did bother to watch or will watch in the future, because this will be archived on the YouTube, I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I'll do better next time. I promise to get a webcam so you don't gotta see this grainy shit. And we'll just see you next time around, and many more times after that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play Destiny now. No, actually, I'm going to play Destiny and watch your live stream. That's what I'm gonna do.
Lit.
All right, so we'll holler at y'all later.